يا أيها المزمل قم الليل إلا قليلا نصفه أو انقص منه قليلا أو زد عليه ورتل القرآن ترتيلا.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. Welcome to this episode, and it's the 14th episode of this series, and bi'idhnillah, it's the last episode. So we'll just be concluding on everything we have been discussing. But quickly, I want to talk briefly again about the gunnah, which we have talked about before. But there are a few things to say about the gunnah, and we didn't say them before because it may have been difficult to understand. So the gunnah has levels. We have mentioned that the gunnah is a sound, that accompanies the mim and the nun. And it's a sound that originates from the nasal passage. Okay, so the scholars have said the gunnah has levels. And they mention it in about 5 levels. Okay, so what are the levels of gunnah? The first level of gunnah, and that takes us to also helps us to cover the rule of mim and nun al-mushaddada. Because the first level of gunnah applies to the mim and the nun al-mushaddada, which is a mim or a nun that has a shadda. Whether this shadda is due to idgham, some merging of 2 letters or whatever, it doesn't matter. It's all the same. So this gunnah is the strongest gunnah. It's the strongest of the gunnah, and it's the number 1 level. So for example, we say مِن مَاءٍ مَهِينٍ مِن مَاءٍ مَهِينٍ. So twice here, مِن مَاءٍ مَهِينٍ. So you have two mims here with a shadda. And so the gunnah here is elongated by 2 harakas. And there is no shortcut to this. This must be elongated. So it must be elongated by 2 harakas. And it is, you make idhar, you emphasize it, you make it very clear. And this is the strongest level of al-gunnah. مِن مَاءٍ مَهِينٍ. So that is for the mim with a shadda. The same thing with the nun with a shadda. For example, وَالنَّجْمِ. So you make it clear. So because sometimes people are reciting and they're a bit in a hurry and they don't. وَالنَّجْمِ. So you shouldn't say وَالنَّجْمِ either. That's, yes, you have put the shadda, but you are not making idharul gunnah. You need to make idharul gunnah, and this is the strongest and the highest level of al gunnah, and it is the level of 2 harakas. So that is level 1. Second level is when the gunnah accompanies a waw or a ya. That when you make idgham of nun, sakina, and tanween into waw or ya. For example, فَمَن يَعْمَلْ مِثْقَالَ فَمَن يَعْمَلْ. So again, you prolong this gunnah again. It's still by 2 harakas. But it's not as strong as the first one. The third level of gunnah is when you make ikhfa of the nun sakina and tanween. At the same time, when you make ikhfa of the mim sakina, ikhfa ash-shafawi. The same thing we said. And also the gunnah that accompanies iqlab. So all of these, they will fall under the third level. And so, for example, you say, min sharri ghasiqin, or you say min ba'd Min ba'd. So all of this, again, it's two harakas, but it's not as strong as the third level. And the fourth level of gunna is when the gunna accompanies a mim or a nun with sukun. A mim or a nun with sukun. And this one, it's not prolonged, like for two harakas, because you are making idhar. So, for example, you say an'amta, an'amta, but it's different from from the last level, which is the gunna on the normal mim and nun with a haraka, like minallahi, minallahi. There's gunna there, it's one haraka, but it's still shorter than when you say an'amta. Why is it shorter? Because we said mim and nun are from the letters of at-tawassut. They are from the letters of tawassut together with the lin umar. So in the letters of shidda, you don't stop at all. In the letters of rukhawa, your pause is longer when you have a sukun on them. And in at-tawassut, there is a shorter pause. So you don't say an'amta, an'amta. You need to pause. So an'amta. So the gunna is different from minallahi. It's different from al-mu'minun. So for example. So these are the levels of gunna, and it's important to take note of this. And when you recite to a teacher, you will get this correct bi'idhnillah. There are other rules of tajweed we could talk about, but because we want to make this short and make this more like, a taster, even though we have said bi'idhnillah the most important things, and if we try to follow these rules and try to apply them, then to a large extent, our recitation will be correct. So I want to round up here by the will of Allah. So my advice to myself and to yourselves, those who have been watching this, is first and foremost to have taqwa of Allah and to have ikhlas, in everything we do, and, to pay attention to these rulings, and try and find a teacher that will, teach you the applications of these rulings, and if we have sincerity in Allah, Allah will make it easy for us. So in the course of this series, whatever I've said that is correct, then this is from Allah. And whatever I've said that is wrong, then obviously this is from Shaitan and from myself. I want us to know that I'm definitely not an expert, in the theoretical rules of Tajweed, which is what we have done. This is all theoretical rules. I'm not an expert in that. I've only tried to convey to you what I have learned from some of, my teachers, also what I have tried to study also. And so I may have made some errors, and I pray to Almighty Allah to forgive me my errors, and to forgive all of us. So I'm not an expert in this. Nor am I an expert in the application either, So again, I may have made some errors in those. But, whatever we know, we should try and convey. And this is why I've tried, to do this. So pray that Almighty Allah accept this from me and from you also, for spending your time sitting down to listen to this, and that Almighty Allah counts it from our good deeds and make it weigh heavy on our scale on the day of judgment, a day where nothing will benefit except good deeds. Subhanakallahumma bihamdik, ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik.